Hello.
Hello.
Week 6 recordings. So it is half an hour before the eviction, so we're gonna have to be speedy here.
Yes,
Um,
this is going to be a very speedy. Before, can we give a little PSA before this real fast? Just like let's just flash back to 2 weeks ago when we hated on Anthony Hayes, and then the following week said, "We're sorry, Anthony Hayes. We didn't mean it." We're gonna do that for Ross and Bella now.
oh, we are.
We were very harsh last week. It was in a state of rage and anger.
Um,
So
Sure.
y'all, all the people that we know that we,
Let me just say
we
I gave Anthony Hayes an 8 last week, and he went home, and I'm very upset. But
yeah.
all right.
Um, I'm calling you insane for that, but I'm pretty sure I gave him a 6, so like not
Let's,
much better. Anyway,
okay.
yeah, that's all I have to say on that front. It's a finally the game isn't bad. And I'm not talking about the outcome of this week.
Yeah,
I'm just talking about this week anything could have happened and
keep
next week
fighting.
anything
Thank
can
God.
happen. And that's what a good game is. Not when it is a one-sided no. So like next week, season 3 could go and like fine good riddance. Because now they at least have like a shot.
Yeah,
So like that's what we have to say
it was
about that.
terrible when they like couldn't do anything to save themselves. It was like
Yes.
so. But now at least we're like
When
it's
Grace had to sacrifice her own game to even have a shot at staying safe. That's how ridiculous that is. But now it's fine. And things have shifted. Holy crap, things have
really
shifted.
so far so that I don't even know if I know everything. So Scott, if I say
No,
something,
yeah, I'm gonna have to fill in some of the holes because there's a everyone everyone loves to FaceTime now. Which like great. Love the in-person sort ofness of it, but like we miss a lot of stuff. So I've caught as much as I can and think I know the overall what the happenings are.
Hayes like to FaceTime because it couldn't be traced. But the problem with that is that we also can't hear it.
Yeah, I was saying the problem with that is it can't be traced.
Okay. All right, then let's get started. So Alex last week, it looks like he finished with a 7.
Yes, let me look at this. I would assume that Alex, yes, sevens from both of us for an average of 7.
All right, let me just say that you can see here Alex has gone down and up and kind of
I mean,
zigzag.
he went consistently down, but it was like steady, nothing crazy down. But now he's going up again.
Yeah. So he's been kind of fluctuating a little bit around that 7 and 8 range. Let me just say that looking at everyone really quickly before I say this, I think Alex is in. He doesn't think it, but I think he's in one of the best positions in the house.
He talks about like finally I've turned it around, but it's like, but staying at a consistent 7-8, like you're fine.
Yeah, you're good.
You're
Um,
doing well.
I don't see anyone coming after him. In fact, I think people want to work with him more. I love this Maeve Alex duo thing.
Listen, Maeve and Alex, I'll talk about them.
Okay, but for being consistently good, and no one really wants to come after him, I'm going to give him an 8 this week.
Alrighty. Where is it? Here we are. Steven gives Alex an 8. Alrighty. I myself am going to stay at a 7.
Okay.
Alex definitely does not deserve to go down this week. Because I think his HOH was extremely successful, and that he nominated 3 people. The person that would have come back after him is going home, and the 2 other people I think have larger fish to fry. Maybe would use him as a pawn, but like I don't see anyone voting out Alex right now, and that's a more than fine space to be in. The only reason I didn't go up is because again, I think there is a possibility that like Julia, who wants to make 0 waves, like nominates Alex as a pawn, or Ross as like a hey, you did it to me, I'm going to do it to you, do
Yeah.
it. But I don't think he's in any danger of going home. So I'm staying at a 7. Alex's rating is 7.5. I will say it's very interesting the conversations he had with Maeve this week. David, without meaning to, I think sparked Alex and Maeve into more active action, where they were both always in a good spot, but now I think they're trying to actively be in a good spot, whereas they have pinned out almost the entire house because of one comment that David said, which is really, really incredible. But we'll get to more of that when it comes to Maeve, because I think it is more important to her since she was in a worse spot before than Alex, in my opinion. But yeah,
Ross.
overall, Alex is in I think, a more than fine spot. I think only way he goes home is if it's like a situation of like the target wins the veto and he's screwed as a pawn on the block next to like Emma. Like maybe that's, and even then I think Emma might even go home.
Okay,
So like, yeah. Next is Ross.
okay,
Go.
Ross. let's talk about Ross. Ross was at what
Ross gave low scores last week.
was that, a 3?
Um, you got a 3 from me and a 4 from you for a 3.5 average.
Okay. Obviously, Ross was nominated this week. Um, he's definitely not going home tonight. But I'm trying to think. I think he could be back on the come up. I think people are definitely after Bella first. I think he's kind of screwed now without David. I'm not going to go up too much on him, but he's definitely not like Bella's next person out, then Ross. Like that's not. I don't think that's what's happening anymore. I think that is happening for some people, but I think there's a lot of different guns being pointed right now. I give him a 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to stay at a 4 for this week.
Alrighty.
Because he was nominated and he's on the block going next to his closest ally, so that's where I'm going to go.
Yes. Last week I was at a 3 for Ross when he was not on the block. So you would think him being on the block would constitute him going down. I'm actually going up. And I'm going to go up to a 5.
Interesting.
And that makes Ross at a 4.5. My reasoning is here, looking at the people left in the game, I think if the nominations didn't change and it was Ross v. Julia, he still stays against Julia. So
that's a little.
It's certainly much more up in the air than this is. But I think Anthony and Erin fight for it, and then you have Bella and Emma on that side. So like, I think
pushes to keep Ross.
Who?
Anthony
Ventrusca absolutely does.
Okay.
Because now, again, looking at can you go back to the board with the?
Because he wants Julia gone. That's right. I forgot about
that. If I look at this, like people want Ross's allies out really badly, but then they want to keep Ross around. So like people really want David out. People really want Bella out. People really want K-Pow and Julia out. These are all like Ross's numbers, but like everyone's saying like, and then we can keep Ross around. So Ross, I think, is actually he played this week greatly by like not playing this week much. And I think in this case, less was definitely more. Yeah, and I think that worked really well. So I think he's in a fairly good spot. Again, not a great one because I do think there's one competition win and he could be screwed. So yeah, I'm going up to a 5.
That puts him at a 4.5. He goes up this week. Okay.
David, the other nominee.
David was at a 5.5 last week.
Yes, David got a 5 from me and a 6 from you.
Yeah. So, I mean, it kind of sucks because I feel like David didn't really do anything this week to, like, make him go up on the block. I think that people just saw him as a really good position. He was close with Ross and Bella. It was kind of the backdoor option. And I think that's just how it worked out. Like, there's no way after the veto was used that Alex wasn't going to put David up, I don't think.
There was not much that David could have done, and there wasn't much that he did wrong to do. It was just kind of the position. He would have had to play the entire game up to this point differently for this to be different, if that makes sense.
So I feel like I shouldn't go as low as I did on other people who were getting evicted because he, like, as other people, like, Dan really screwed himself. Same with Kate, and, I'm sorry, I give him a 6. Since I gave Ross a 4, I'll put David down at 3.
All right. Yeah, I'm balancing between a 3 and a 2, just because. For me, if you're going home, the highest you can get is a 3, unless you get a 10.
Unless it's less.
But that was Grace still got a 3 for me on the game level, and that's like what her average score was. And I think that David is then like a much more sure spot of going home than Grace was. But that being said, like David did not do anything to screw himself. And even after after going up on the block, whereas season 1 David would have sent the house into a storm and like gone into a rage, he like calmly campaigned when he saw the cards were stacked against him, said, you know what, Ross, you're my closest ally. If I'm being honest with myself, as much as I want to stay and play, I don't have a shot to win, whereas you do. So I'm just going to bow out of this quietly. let you take a shot at this and hope there's a way for me to get back in. If there is. I really, no offense, David, I really hope it's not you again.
I don't think he's gonna win, to be honest.
I think a lot of other people, like I mean, I'm still holding out for Grace Del Pisa to make a return.
Yeah, we'll see.
Oh yeah, we will see.
What's your ranking?
Oh yeah, I'm gonna go to a 3 because David really, there wasn't much that he could do, and he's been very consistently respectful. The only thing that I will say that is just like, bro, David, wake up, is my lord, when people don't talk to him about what's happening in the game or he's lied to, he'll go to his DR and rant like, play the game. You can't. No one's talking about any, and it's like, sir, this is. But did you not tell Dan and not tell Kate and screw Julie? I was like, this is
people
exactly what happened. So like, take out the hypocrisy.
He's like, how nominate me and not talk to me about it, and then not give me an opportunity to come off, like, to save myself, like.
And it's like, sir, this is what you've been plotting. You've been preaching that you've been running this show, which you haven't run. But, and that's the other thing. The most dangerous position to be, and I feel like David kind of got himself there, is a position where you think you're running the game.
Yeah.
And are fine. Because when you're in that position, you're not fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, next.
Yeah.
Juliana.
All right, let's see.
If I'm being honest, this week, I forgot the girl existed in the game. We've talked so much about her in every other week. And this week, like, she hasn't been. She was HOH, and I forget that she existed. She got a 5 from me and a 6 from you.
Okay. Juliana, still love. I think she's kind of starting to take, like, a more power position. I mean, I know that Anthony wants her gone. Anthony is so bothered by her for some reason. I don't really understand it. But do you think Erin's going to want to take that shot too?
Depends. So should I give my thoughts after, or should I give my thoughts now?
You can give your thoughts
now. I think we'll get to more specifics later, but I think Anthony and Erin are in the prime position in the game of, like, they are exactly doing what you need to be doing. Of, like, they have the Ross Bella David Emma side secured. They have the Juliana Lucrezza side secured. The one wishy maybe side is K-Pow and Julia, who have their targets set otherwise. It's like they have all the angles and fine. Whether or not they want to take the shot. I don't think they plan to win HOH. No. And what they said is, if it's the season 3 side that wins, they push for Bella and Julia to go home. If it's the other side that wins, they push for Juliana or James, which is a very interesting scenario now, to go home. So I don't know. Like, they won't take the shot. It depends on what happens. So
Julia's like number 1 hit list person for Anthony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So Juliana, she's definitely in a better spot than she was last week. Definitely. Things are starting to look up for her. I think she's probably fine for next week. She won HOH. She made sure Alex won HOH too, so she could make sure she was off the block this week. But now that she is getting more into that position, I feel like she gets more in danger. So I am going to stay at my 6.
All right, Steven stays at a 6. I'm staying at my 5. If I look at it, I think that it's like there's a 50% chance that the HOHs are good and Juliana is scotch-free safe. And then there's a 50% chance that the HOHs are bad and Juliana is number 1 target. Because, like, if Bella gets HOH, Luke and Juliana are going up on the block. There's no getting around it. She doesn't risk putting, like, a lot of people, I think, put up Luke and Juliana or don't touch Luke and Juliana. And when those are the odds, that's kind of what you got to deal with. Yes. Yeah, I know. We're going to speak to this. So I'm not going to say much more. I kind of forgot she existed this week. Yeah. She stays at a 5.5. Yeah, moving on to that.
Well, let's just say I said last week that I like one more when people play from the bottom. Thank God she's starting to play from the bottom now. She knows she's in trouble.
Yes. This is what we love to see.
Wait, where was Bella last week? Bella was
at 2s for both of us.
2. Okay.
But that was also, again, in fit of rage.
I also think Bella's definitely moves up from last. I mean, obviously she's at a 2 last week, but I feel like she definitely is in a better position than she was at the end of last week. She pulled out one of those Bella wins and saved her ass and became safe for the week. Bella, I'm going to where else?
You're at a 2.
No, I'm looking at where I put everyone else. I'm gonna go for a 5.
All right, Steven goes for a 5. I'm also going up on Bella, not that much. I'm going up to a 4 for Bella. Again, similar scenario. I think Anthony mainly wants Julia and pushing that, and I think Aaron's on board with that. But then I think the James, Alex, Luke side of things is going to push for Bella. So, like, it's just depending. But if they put her on the block, she has so many chances to save herself that I don't doubt that she will. Um, wow, that is a line. Um, um, yeah, so like I do think in the end she will be fine, but like I think she is a huge target still in the house and is definitely in more danger than Ross is. So that's where I'm at.
Okay.
Caitlin.
Caitlin won 2 competitions this week. Good for her.
She is currently before the season the mark was 9. And in the past like week, Caitlin has shot ahead to 12 comp wins. So first of all, just putting that out there, very impressive.
She secures her title as Morphomatic champion. Caitlin's also someone who's like, we gave her shit in the beginning of the season and towards the past few weeks, but like I really think she's starting to come out a little bit and like push her agenda more, which is something that's exciting. Can we wait? What did we get Caitlin last week?
Last week, Caitlin got 3s from both of us.
Okay. I am also gonna give Caitlin a 5 this week, but for different reasons than Bella, because I think Bella's more in trouble. Mm-hmm. But I feel like she is more closely connected with some people, whereas Caitlin, I think, is kind of distant and is also not doing. So that's why I have 2 different reasons of doing 5s.
Yeah, I'm going up to a 5 as well. I think that Caitlin finally, and we saw it in this last eviction for like the first time.
Yeah.
Is like making her own moves, whether they be with the house or not, making her own moves, and that's where we're going to start to see Caitlin pick it up because people aren't targeting her right now, and she has the competition prowess to keep herself safe, especially while this twist still goes on. So I'm moving Caitlin up to a 5, for an average of 5. Now Julia.
Okay.
This is the first time that I feel very differently about the channel.
Is this no? What did we give Julia before? What was it?
3-3-3.
First of all, I guess we also have to talk about the double eviction here because that's like part of it. She won HOH. Oh, that was not good for her. Yeah, she put up a pawn. She was like one of the only people that didn't know Hayes was going home, which is like embarrassing, kind of.
Not only that, but Hayes was like, I think literally the only, besides K-Pow, but that's obvious, Hayes would have been the only person in the game that if someone said, let's put up Julia, to be like, let's think differently. Everyone else would be like, okay, fine. Like.
But yeah, that's a whole different story. But Julia came off the block this week. She would have gone home, I think, next to Ross. I think you're right. I think even David, maybe there's a chance that she stays. Or she goes. I'm trying to even things out because I gave David a 3 and I gave K-Pow a 4. I think she falls in between there. That's what I gave David a 3 and K-Pow a 5. I think she falls in between there, so I'm going to go for a 4.
Alrighty, you're giving Julia a 4. I'm giving Julia a 3. I think that Julia is in a very precarious position, and I would be, unless she wins HOH, would be shocked if she didn't land on the block at the very least. And I think that it's like it's gonna very much be a scenario of like, oh, we'll nominate Julia as the pawn and then a target, and then Julia goes home anyway. And again, this circumstances depend, but like I just don't think. I think that Caitlin is far better connected in the house, and I just think Julia isn't there. And again, is strong at comps and could easily save herself, but like I think K-Pow is just starting to like take one step up ahead. So that's how I feel there. Anthony, just Anthony, because now we don't have 2 to worry about.
You want me to text the house chat and be like, give us 5 more minutes.
I can do it. Start on Anthony.
Anthony, like you said, Anthony is back where this always happens with Anthony, where I hate him in the beginning and he turns it around and he's always well positioned. I don't know why people don't see Anthony and Aaron as like a duo because they spill everything to each other. Where was Anthony last week? Let's see. Anthony V. Yellow Line had a 5.
We got 5s from us last week, but that was also because we were mad at Hypocrite Anthony. And now he knows he's Hypocrite Anthony and he's owning it.
Which is so much better. He keeps saying that he knows he's a hypocrite and he thinks it's funny, which I think it's funny if he also thinks it's funny, as long as he knows that he's being a hypocrite. He's in such a good spot. He's in such a good spot. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. I'm under so much pressure. I don't see anybody really coming after him. I think Anthony also goes up to an 8 in my book.
Alrighty, you go up to an 8. I was at a 5 last week, and I'm looking at this board, and I'm looking at the people that trust Anthony like wholeheartedly. Yeah. And I look at Alex, Ross, David, which won't be much soon, Juliana, Ella, Emma by default in turn, Erin for sure. I love that by default. Sorry, Emma. James, Luke, and Reza. Which of these, Maeve, Caitlin, and Julia, who also don't target him. I'm moving Anthony up to a 9.
Interesting.
Because now that he knows he's a hypocrite and owns it, it's more flattering.
Wait, 8.5.
You're right, 8.5. So I think he's definitely in the strongest position in the game. Knows he's in the strongest position, but to his credit, is always thinking like, crap, people are coming after me. And like, don't get me wrong, it's annoying as hell, but it's a great quality to have to not be. He's not ever comfortable, which is why I think he continues to do so well.
Yeah.
And we'll get to someone who has gotten too comfortable and it's backfiring now.
Well,
but not yet. Emma, we're up next.
All right, wait, let's go for Emma last week. Emma
got 4s from both of us. Yes.
Let me just say, okay, I am not going lower on Emma this week because I saw her after David was nominated be like, I don't know, like Ross is like super close with Bella, and if I want to be close with Bella, like Ross has to go. And I'm like, Emma's doing I was like, Emma's strategizing? So I am very proud of her for that. I guess the bar is pretty low, no offense, but like, I mean, like, no, that sounds like to me.
No, you're right, I agree. But
she hasn't really shown that strategic prowess in this season so much yet. Not saying that she won't when it comes to the jury. Let me just say, Emma still on nobody's radar. She was definitely in trouble during the double. I think that if she was on the block, she very easily could have gone home next to Reza.
To Reza, I think she does go home.
So she won the veto, her first solo full competition win aside from HOH Part 2. I'm hyping her up too much. Yeah, and I think that she still votes out David tonight because I think that she sees that the votes aren't there.
I agree. She's talked to a lot of people and everyone's like, we're voting out David. I think she will vote out David too.
I will go up for now to a 5.
Alrighty. I'm staying at a 4. For the like, I just listen. Emma is, I think, proving that she is like, even if she isn't the most active, she is constantly thinking about the game, and she is like, what video was in? Anyway, I'm gonna keep talking while I look at the house chat. Oh, it's the whispers in the wind, David. Oh. But she is actively thinking about the game, and I think we saw from season 1 and now here too. She strategically thinks most when it comes to the vote and who to vote out. She's not one to push people to go up onto the block. Because she's never been HOH and she's never had to do that. And I don't think she wants to do that. And I think that is her strategy. So like, kudos to her on that. So I'm staying at a 4 because I do think it is likely that she's a pawn.
Look at Emma's track.
I don't think she goes home. It's a yeah. That's where I am with Emma, and now we're gonna move on to Erin.
Okay.
Last week, Erin got 7s from both of us.
Let me say this again. Let me say this again for the 6th week in a row. How in the hell is no one looking at Erin Donaher as she's a winner and one of the best players in the game? I want to know how long I'm going to say this, how many consistent weeks I will say this.
Not only that, but also came into the game saying, I want to be the first one out. And is still here. And I think, actually, I won't say in the best position, but I think she's in the second best position.
Do you think behind Anthony?
I think behind Anthony. So, I mean, if that's any indication, I'm giving Erin an 8.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I agree with you if she's below Anthony. Why do you think that?
I think that because David, I think, screwed her, and he doesn't know it. So what happened was before the veto meeting, David, in an attempt to like last chance ditch effort to save himself, goes to Alex and is like, Alex, just so you know, Robe was reunited, being me, Bella, Ross, Emma, and Erin. And Erin is the ringleader and calling all the shots. She's the big one that you want to take out. Alex then goes to Maeve and goes, listen, I know Erin's telling us, but like Erin is the person in the middle doing all of this. It's Erin and it's James. And they're lying to all of us. Maeve is pissed.
But that's not even true. Like Erin's not controlling Robe.
Oh, I'm not saying it's true, but I'm saying it's what they think. Oh, no. Erin is not controlling Robe. I don't think anyone's controlling Robe. They're fractured and not really tight. But it's, they think that, and they also not only think, but know that James is playing them. Maeve is pissed that James did not tell her about the Anthony Hayes vote that Alex exposed was mainly James pushing. So Maeve is not happy with James. He's next, so we'll get there. A lot of people are not happy with James. And those two, I think, will push for Erin at some point, but I don't think it's next week. So I'm putting Erin just 1 notch below Anthony at an 8, but still very.
Now that you say that, I agree. I will go 8 for Erin, too. I think you're right. I didn't know that full story.
Yeah.
So Erin goes up to 8. Okay.
Now time for Mr. James Bull. And here's the thing. Preseason, you know it in our draft, we said James is a very active player that will love to get his hands dirty and think he's running the show, but it won't work. Up to this point, it's worked, and I've been bewildered. And he certainly earned his stripes in that, like, proving that season 4 was not, like, an easy season that he just won. Which, like, don't get me wrong, is true, but proved that, like, he has the chops to back up his game there.
Agreed.
I expected it to blow up week 1. It's blowing up week 6.
What was his score for last week?
Last week he got, I think, 7s from both of us. Yeah, 7s from both of us again.
Oh, there's Emma's vote. Emma voted David.
There's the first vote. She had a pre-vote. But...
Okay. We both gave him 7s, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. James Bull is definitely in trouble going into next week.
He's certainly in trouble, and he doesn't know it, which is dangerous.
But it all depends on who wins HOH, I think. I don't know if he will go for it. Do you think he'll go? I keep forgetting that's tonight, too.
No, James isn't going to go for it. He has no idea. Don't get me wrong. I think the chances of him being the one that go home next week are still very slim.
Because there's a lot. This is the last week versus villains.
He still has time to turn it around and figure it out. But Erin doesn't trust him. Anthony Ventresca does not trust him. Alex and Maeve do not trust him. And if they get into Juliana's ear, then that ruins anything. And then it's like, then all of a sudden James, who had everyone, now has no one. So he's riding on a very slippery slope. He's not at the edge yet.
That's why, I think next week I could go lower than this. But I don't think I will go lower than what I'm going to give him, simply because he hasn't teetered over that edge yet. I do think he's in trouble more so than last week. I am going to go down to a 5.
All right, Steve's giving him a 5. I'm still giving James a 6.
Okay.
Because again, I don't think he's the most in trouble going into next week, but I think that he's not going to have control. And then I think if he realizes it and changes it up, could go back up. Like he needs to win power and then appease people and take out like a pawn person. Like that's what needs to happen. And I don't think he knows that.
Yeah.
So yeah. Luke
Alamri. Last week, Tell us.
Last week he got 5 from both of us.
Now that he like isn't in trouble anymore, he's kind of sinking back into who is he? I have no idea who he is, which is kind of annoying.
Yeah, season 3 really sunk back under the radar this week.
Which might not be a terrible thing.
No, I think it's good for them right now.
I do think Juliana is definitely more involved than he is right now, and currently connected to more people. I do
agree.
think someone. What were we saying?
I said I agree.
Oh, okay. I do think that Luke is someone who could still be in trouble for next week. I will. This is like the week of Invisible Luke. I will stay at a 5 this week, I think.
I'm staying at a 5 as well. Yeah, I think that Juliana is far more social and far more connected, and I think a lot of people just want Luke out for the sake of they find Luke annoying.
Yeah.
And I think that Luke hasn't done enough social strategizing and isn't anyone's number one besides Juliana, and probably Reza, but even that, those 3 are just tight. So I'm just staying at a 5. I will say in Luke's favor, he's going to gun for every HOH he can. Yeah. I think there's a solid chance he wins. He won this next HOH competition in season 3, even though I think a lot of people threw it. So that's interesting. He'll gun for it. He could do well. And if he's in power again, he makes moves. Like, he's unapologetically him. And I think that's, for right now, good. Yeah. Moving on to Maeve.
I love Maeve so much. Okay, wait. What do
Maeve is, I think, maybe, like, one of my favorite people just to be like, it's Maeve. Like, I love Maeve.
And it was so funny because I was on FaceTime with Maeve and Hayes. Not Maeve and Hayes. Maeve and Alex. Or maybe it was Hayes. No, it was definitely Alex. And Alex left to go do something. And Maeve and I were just talking. And we were like, hey, Maeve, what's up? She's one of my favorite people in this game. But we gave her, she was at 6.5 last week. I think I gave her a 7. And
you gave her a 7. I gave her a 6. No, I gave her a 7. You gave her a 6.
Interesting. Okay. I think that is coming soon where Maeve is going to be the one to turn on James, and I'm so excited.
I want it to be that. I want her to be the one to do it.
I just like, she deserves it. Like, she deserves to be separated from James, and like for people to recognize that she was also great.
Yeah, people give James far too. Like, listen, don't get me wrong. James ran season 4. But Maeve also ran season. It was James and Maeve collectively.
Agree. Yeah, 100%. And she, again, I said this about Reza. She only lost by 1 vote.
1 vote, exactly. People forget about Maeve and Reza.
She was 1 vote away from being the reigning champion of Big Brother right now.
Yes.
Which I think probably is not terrible for her. I mean, obviously.
And I mean, of course she didn't win, but like in long term from that, it's helped her.
Yeah, exactly. I'm trying to find Anthony Ventresca's like hit list.
What's funny is I don't think she's on it.
Maeve's not on there. See?
Because here's the thing. Like, everyone jokes around it like, oh, Emma's the forgettable one in the game. But the thing is, like, Emma's known as the forgettable one. Yeah. People actually forget that Maeve exists.
But that's not
right now, that's right where she wants to be. Because everyone's like, oh, I forget that she exists. Oh, but we just like have Maeve.
I just love Maeve and Alex so much. So I feel like I have to give Maeve an 8 too. I'm giving Maeve an 8.
Alrighty, you're giving Maeve an 8. I'm going to stay at my 7 for this week.
Okay.
Because I think it is a double-edged sword being forgotten. I definitely agree that an 8 is certainly deserved. I think a 7.5 is like perfect.
Perfect, yeah, I agree.
I think right now, like, if she can keep it under the radar for like another round or 2 and just keep just getting info and being like, yes, I'm on your side, and then like circa final 9, then be like, surprise, bitch, I'm here. Like, that's what I want to see from Maeve. That's also what I want to see from Reza, who I think is in a worse position than Maeve. But even then,
the Reza was at a 4.5 last week.
Yes, Reza. He was also on the block. He had a 4 from me and a 5 from you.
Oh, shit, let me go back. Okay, Reza. I mean, it's also someone besides. He wasn't nominated. No, okay. For some reason, he was playing the veto, but I don't know why I thought he was nominated. He's also someone that sank into the shadows more this week. Again, not terrible for him. Are we also scoring based on the double because he was on the block?
We're not really scoring based on the double.
Okay. I gave him a 5. I think that I think I'm gonna stay at my 5.
I'm staying at my 5 as well. I think that Reza is just like in the same spot. He hasn't talked to more people. He hasn't talked to less people. He's in the loop, but people just kind of like forget.
Hopefully he can pull it on. I want all the people who are being forgotten to like change it around, like be able to.
And I think like Reza's one to like change it around once it like it's just like Reza's one where when he's in trouble, then he'll change it around and like he'll go in. But like if he's ever in like the position of just like he's fine, he's not going to be the Charger, which I think is good. It got him to the final in season 2, and if he's just sitting right to the next person, again, he only lost by 1 vote. Yeah. Okay. So really, really quickly, top of the board this week. I think for the first time solo, Anthony Ventresca.
Yeah.
With surrounded in second place being Aaron right there with him, deservedly so, as well as Alex, who I think is like maybe had 1 week not in yellow, and Maeve, yes,
Yeah, Alex has been at the top pretty much.
And then bottom this week is in fact David. That's not surprising. He is going home. And down there with him is Julia, who I think probably is the prime target for next week, whether it be the target or the that was mine. The target or like I'm fine with you going home type deal.
Yeah.
As well as who else is down there? I guess it would be Ross, Bella, and Emma.
Yeah, but we don't.
Yeah, we don't have to.
Because I don't think we'll go down there.
So
okay.
That's where we're at.
We gotta get the eviction started for until when's the veto meeting? What day is today? Is it Sunday?
It'll be Sunday.
Okay. So until Sunday, when we have our week 7 rankings. Again, remember last week when I was like, Bella could be like in a good position next week and we might like her. Again, same thing could happen. David could still be here. Who knows anymore? Julia could be HOH for the 3rd time. You never know. But yeah, okay, we gotta get the eviction started. So
yes, I'm really like typing that now.
all right. See
That's
you.
what we have.